Morning. Please silence your cell phones. If you need to step out for any reason, please do so from the side doors. Also, in an effort to abide by the protocols that will keep us all safe, we ask that you remain at your seats for the duration of the program. Staff photographers will be capturing the students, and these photos will be made available to each one of them. Please do not approach the stage. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please stand as you are able. Our ceremony will begin.
Good morning. You may be seated. Good morning and welcome to the white coat ceremony for the PCOM Physician Assistant Class of 2024. Before we begin, I'd like to invite R. Brian Ginn to the podium. He is the Chief Campus Officer for the Georgia campus. Thank you.
Dr. Levy, thank you so very much. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome. On behalf of the PCOM Board of Trustees, President Jay Feldstein, and the entire PCOM community of learners, we are delighted that you are here today. Of all the places you could be, we're glad, family and friends, that you're here to show great support to this wonderful class of our Physician Assistant Program. Delighted you're here. To begin our ceremony this morning, would you join me in a brief moment of invocation? Pray with me, will you? Oh God, we pause this day to recognize that symbols mean so very much to us. Symbols that reflect compassion, empathy, humanity. Such it is with the white coat, a symbol donned by these who commit themselves to the best of ourselves, caring one for the other. Bless this class of PCOM physician assistants. May they individually and collectively embody the ideals of service to mankind that is so desperately needed in our world today. Watch over them, protect them, and open their minds to new ideas. Open their minds to the highest ideals of a life of service. Bless the faculty and staff of PCOM who expend their energies and their intellect to drive educational attainment. And bless these family and friends who are here gathered to show support. May they be a refuge from the challenges ahead for each one of these students. And Lord, while we're at it, during these days of social challenge, political strife, please, we pray, continue to bless the United States of America. Amen. If you would, please stand and join us as the Pledge of Allegiance is led by Dr. Carrie Nold, followed by Allison Ritter from the PA class of 2024, who will be singing Heal the World. Dr. Knoll, please come forward.
All right, please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Ms. Ritter?
To place in your heart, and I know that it is love. And this place was brighter than tomorrow. And if we really try, we'll find there's no need to cry. In this place, till there's no hurt or sorrow. There are ways to get there, and if we care enough for the living, make a little space, make a better place, heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying, but if you care enough for the living, make a better world for you and for me. Want to know why? There is love that cannot lie. Love is strong, it only cares of joyful giving. If we try, we shall see. In this bliss we cannot feel. Fear of dread will stop existing and start living. Then it feels that always love's enough for us growing. To make a better world, to make a better world. Heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying, but if you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me. And the dream we were conceived in will reveal a joyful face. And the world we once believed in will shine again in grace. Then why do we keep strangling life when this earth crucify its soul? Though it's plain to see this world is heavenly, be God's glow. We could fly so high, let our spirits never die. In my heart, you're my sisters and my brothers. Create a world with no fear. Together we cry happy tears. See the nations turn their swords into plowshares. We could really get there if we cared enough for the living. Make a little space to make a better place. Heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying, but if we care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me, for you and for me, for you and for me.
Thank you, Allison. That was beautiful. Social perceptions of healers in our society are often represented by symbols of the profession. Few symbols of medicine are more recognizable than the clinician's white coat. Historically, the white coat has represented such things as the scientific method of diagnosis and treatment, the adoption of aseptic techniques associated with cleanliness, and I think it's interesting to see where the use of the white coat in medicine came from. In truth, we don't actually know, but those that have studied this history and written about it seem to think that it was, at least in part, a marketing ploy. It seems that doctors of the late 19th and early 20th century noticed that lab scientists were held in very high regard by the general public. Those scientists were getting most of the credit for fighting disease and reducing the suffering that was associated with those diseases. And one powerful symbol of the lab scientists were their long lab coats, which at the time were tan. Organized medicine saw the opportunity to improve the symbol by changing the color to white, thus combining lab science and cleanliness, not to mention the pure intentions to heal the sick. And so it came to be, the long white coat became the doctor's trademark. In our current era of the 21st century, most people would agree that the coat emphasizes the humanistic values of patient before self that all PAs adhere to. You who are newest to our profession will wear your white coats for the first time today. Donning the coat serves to remind us that we have a special responsibility to the patients who look to us to help them become well and to keep them from becoming ill through preventative care. We must keep the purest of intentions, doing what is best for our patients, even when it is not easy or convenient to do so. Our speaker today is a graduate of the PCOM Physician Assistant Class of 2014. Tsitsi Masviba embodies compassion, humility, intellect, and dedication. She was the recipient of the Sarah Summers Rupert Humanitarian Award for her graduating class. This is an award that's given to students that demonstrate an ongoing commitment to those in need. She's an individual who exemplifies the philosophy of healthcare service and compassion above self. During one of the few breaks in PA school, Tsitsi organized a trip to an orphanage in Africa to deliver clothing and other goods that her classmates donated. After graduating, Tsitsi followed her passion and secured a job in neurosurgery at Georgetown University, where she remained for 7 years. Wanting to be close to family, she returned to Georgia and took a position as a neurosurgery PA at Northeast Georgia Medical Center. When she's not doing surgery and caring for patients at the hospital, she's with her 4-year-old son or squeezing in a workout. We are delighted to have Tsitsi here to talk to you today.
Thank you, Dr. Levy. Wow, you all look amazing. This brings a lot of memories. But good morning. It is because of something very unique and special that we are all gathered here this morning. Welcome PCOM faculty, family, friends, and of course, the PCOM PA Georgia class of 2024. I would like to take this time to thank you all for being here. It is a true honor to be given this opportunity, especially as a proud alum of PCOM. I am deeply humbled. If you had told me 20 years ago that I would be standing here giving a speech to PA students, I would probably have told you that you've lost your mind. But 10 years ago, I was sitting exactly where you are today. And here I am. There are a lot of emotions that I'm feeling, but one that is certain is that I am so proud of you guys for making it this far. And I'm so excited for you today as you receive your white coats. When a mentor and friend of mine asked me to stand and speak today, my first reaction was, Yes, absolutely. He caught me off guard because I was in the operating room. I said, that would be such an honor. Not only that, I had recently watched Top Gun Maverick in theaters. And boy, I was feeling very inspired. Then I got home, and I thought, what the heck did I just say yes to? I realized that the last time I stood in front of a crowd and gave a public speaking speech was in my freshman year of undergrad, and in my public speaking class that I barely passed. Students, I want you to take a look around. I know your family is behind you. I want you to acknowledge your friends, your loved ones, your spouses, your grandparents, and those who are here to celebrate you today. You are here sitting in that seat because you've had their shoulders to stand on. Today they are here to celebrate you. Trust me, you will need them even more as you embark on the next phase of your didactic and clinical years, and then your career. We should all take some time to thank them for making this day possible. My story and journey to becoming a PA was definitely not a straight path. I was born in Zimbabwe, Africa, and I moved to the United States at a young age of 16 after graduating high school. My reason for being here was solely for my tennis career. I came alone, and my family remained in Zimbabwe. I lived and breathed tennis, traveling the world with my coach for many years, and even got to play Wimbledon in 2002. School and a career in medicine as a PA were the last things on my mind. Prior to leaving Zimbabwe, I was a good student. I worked hard, but I was not the top of my class. There were 3 structured streams in our high school. There was the A stream, the extremely smart kids with the highest test scores. And then there was the B stream. And then there was the C stream. And yes, I was in the C stream. You would find me 2 rows from the back, where I could usually successfully eat my entire packed lunch and snacks without my teachers noticing. Those kids in the C stream were usually not the ones expected to go into fields like medicine. I surprised myself and my former teachers, as this was an unexpected career choice. But I believe my journey and your journey is not that we just picked this career, but that it is a calling. Many of you, regardless of your journey, have made it to this significant milestone and the beginning of a fulfilling career as a PA. And today, you will receive your white coat. I want you to remember every single milestone and obstacle that has led you to this very moment, this very exciting moment. Your white coat represents your present and your future accomplishments and who you will become. As you receive your coat today, you are now the person that personifies the highest ideals it embodies. When patients see you in your white coat, they will expect you to have integrity, and they will expect you to care. As a student, you may not know all the answers, but your patients and those around you will expect you to have compassion. You are officially becoming a part of a community that meets people at some of the lowest points in their lives. But you are now being trained, and you will have the privilege, the trust, and the honor to heal in your community. You have all made sacrifices to get to this point, and you will continue to throughout your career. Family, be warned. You are about to embark on a journey yourselves, a journey of being a perpetual patient to practice on. Cardiac exams, lung exams will be performed on you. Your abdomens will be percussed. Don't worry, that simply means gently tapping on. And those eyes and ears will be examined many times with otoscopes and ophthalmoscopes. So get ready. To the students, you will experience the greatest satisfaction and joy that life can offer, and the deepest regret, sadness, and self-doubt in your career. What will keep you centered is humility, hard work, and doing what's best for the patient. Those are the key things that you will learn in these next few years. Going forward, the months ahead are going to be hard. They didn't tell you this when you applied, but they are going to be hard. You will have long, grueling lecture days, long clinical days, and there will be days you will wonder if you can do another day like that again and study for an upcoming exam the next morning. Your reason for taking this journey will be tested. That saying that PA school is like drinking water through a fire hydrant is true and accurate. You are about to learn 4 years of medical school in half the time. But you wouldn't be sitting here if your faculty didn't think that you could do it. For this class, there were an average of 1,900 applicants. There are 32 of you sitting here today. Remember that. If there is anything I would love for you all to get out of this speech, is that you are going to do exceptionally well. As you start your journey, make sure you have an anchor. Why is it that you started this journey? That answer will keep you grounded through your next few months and years. During my cardiothoracic rotation as a student, I asked my attending if he could give me one piece of advice as a new grad PA. He said, "Tsitsi, you're going to have very high highs and very tough lows. Don't let the highs get you distracted and prideful, and always come back from the lows." I have personally found these pearls of wisdom to keep one humble and learning. I will share with you an example of one of my lows. I'm being very vulnerable here. Early in my career, I had just started out at Georgetown as a neurosurgery PA. I was still training and probably a few months in. It was my first job out of PA school. I had been in a couple of operating room cases, and I was loving every minute of my job. It was early in the morning, and we were getting the sign out from all the inpatients for neurosurgery from our residents. Since I was still fairly new, I was asked to go and round on a patient and then remove their sutures. The patient had recently undergone a posterior thoracolumbar removal of hardware and wound washout as a combo case in neurosurgery and plastics. He was sitting up in his bed comfortably. I examined him. He had a good neurological exam. His incision site, that was almost his entire back, appeared to be healing well without any signs of redness, swelling, or drainage. And so I proceeded to remove his sutures. What I didn't know was that those sutures were only 2 days old. That patient was post-op day 2, from his second wound washout surgery. And now, his entire incision site would be completely open when I left his bedside. Within an hour, I got a call from the chief of plastics, who did not have very nice things to say to me. I was devastated. All self-confidence came to a crushing halt. The patient had to go back to the operating room for the third time. I am fortunate. Oh, here we go. Students, our margin of error is very minimal. And when things go wrong, unfortunately, we can really hurt or kill someone. That situation that happened, I played in my mind 1,000,000 times over. For you all to make it to this point today, there are a lot of things you have had to do perfectly or close to perfect. What is important is how you recover from the imperfect and the low. That patient ended up fortunately being okay. After recovering from his third surgery, he was discharged home, but for me, they still had to undergo a third surgery. I'm fortunate that I worked with an amazing team and faculty and coworkers who supported me during this time. They all shared their stories of how they had messed up at some point, and some with worse results. I learned, as I hope you will too, to check my work. Know every single thing about a patient that you are assigned to. Sometimes, as a student, you expect that those people, especially those senior to you, have given you all the information that you need. They may know everything about that patient, but you must too. When in doubt, ask your attending, ask your preceptor, ask your faculty, use your support. My last story I will leave you with. Fast forward 8 years from graduation. I'm on call with my attending for neurosurgery, and I consult on a 68-year-old female in the emergency room who's had a ground level fall and now has a large right-sided subdural hematoma with right to left midline shift. She is bleeding into her brain. The patient on exam has significant weakness of both left upper and left lower extremities, with a left-sided pronator drift. All terms, students, you are shortly to become very familiar with. I admit the patient, and my attending and I take her back to the operating room for burr holes and evacuation of a subdural hematoma. We're fully scrubbed, and my attending hands me the scalpel blade to make the incision, which he usually does. But this time he proceeds to say, "Tsitsi, I feel very comfortable in you doing this entire case. I'll be here if you need me, but you'll do the case." Holy smokes. Holy Toledos. I thought in my head, both through excitement and extreme nervousness. The scrub handed me the bovie as I cauterized my way down to the skull. I was then handed the drill. I made my burr holes in the skull, and I opened the dura with a 15 scalpel blade and evacuated the blood. My attending broke scrub immediately, left the room as I began to close and finish the case. To say that I floated out of that room is an understatement. I was levitating. That was the high that Dr. Hastings was talking about. And boy, did it feel amazing. The patient did well, and I got to see her in the office for her post-operative visit with full bilateral strength and walking without assistance. Students, it's those moments that will keep you motivated, and it's the hard ones that will keep you humble. It may not feel like it today, even though you are all just starting your journey. Regardless of what specialty you end up in, you too will soon have the privilege and honor to serve in your community. Stay focused, stay humble, and work hard. It has been such a great honor to speak with you all today. I see myself in every single one of you sitting there, and I hope you see yourselves in me. We are now connected as part of a wonderful PA profession and a wonderful family of PCOM. Wishing you all success in the life medicine has to offer. Congratulations, class of 2024.
Thank you, Tsitsi. At this time, Dr. Rebecca Thomas will read the significance and meaning behind the white coat.
There is arguably no other workplace clothing as symbolic as the white coat. The white coat stands for professionalism, integrity, and the highest commitment to caring for the sick. It conveys respect and is a visual reminder of the trust we must earn from our patients. There was a study done at the University of Michigan that evaluated patient response to provider attire in the white coat. In this study, 4,000 patients were surveyed across 10 different U.S. academic medical centers. Results of the study indicated that provider attire influences patient impression and satisfaction with the care they receive. Providers that wore a white coat over business casual attire were deemed more caring, more trustworthy, more knowledgeable, and more approachable. However, we recognize certain settings, such as a pediatrics practice, where removal of the white coat is intentional to allay patient anxiety. What we wear is an easy thing to modify. You embody the white coat. Developing and refining your character is not easy. It requires conscious effort and commitment. Choose to make your character a priority starting today. Consider your words and actions carefully, as they will greatly impact others. Exercise good judgment and solicit the wisdom of others to provide the highest quality care. Value the privilege of serving those in need of medical care. The white coat stands for professionalism, integrity, and the highest commitment to caring for the sick. Wear your white coat with pride and be the person that exemplifies the traits that the white coat symbolizes.
Thank you, Dr. Thomas. At this time, we would like to have you come forward and don your white coats. If you wouldn't mind waiting until each student's name has been called before your applause so that we can hear every student's name. Gazang Abdullah. Dalia Alsati. Mark Anderson. Aderson. Tana Anderson. Jordan Blackman. Caitlin Borma. Emma Brown. Kimberly Bucher. Alyssa Burian. Alexandra Burklow. Charlotte Calixto. Daniel Chang. Lauren Cotney. Avery Simber. Carly Dahm. Jacqueline DeFelice. Amira Elton Tawi. Brenda Franco. Sydney Frazier. Alexa Galelli. Charla Gordon. Renee Gerton. Claire Holland. Naomi Naganoma. Bao Nguyen. Tochukwu Okamezi. Allison Ritter. Rachel Rooks. Georgia Rutledge. Mercedes Tatum. Danielle Vitale. Ashley Wilson. The PCOM Georgia PA Class of 2024. You can be seated. Before we read the pledge, I'd like to share some advice with you regarding your new white coats. My remarks are adapted from Suzanne Ogilvie Oaks, PAC, in her address to her first-year PA students over 20 years ago. Your jacket has several large pockets that you will fill with instruments and items that add about 5 pounds to the average PA student. Here are some of the things that will fill your pockets. A reflex hammer, This is key for the neurologic exam. It's also handy for tapping ice off your windshield on a blustery day, and to use for a gentle wrap over your temporal bone to help you retrieve that piece of information just before an exam. Measuring tape. You will measure skin lesions, lacerations, pregnant abdomens, and swollen legs. You can also use this to check the size of the new microwave on sale at Home Depot when yours has died. A pen light to check pupils and throats, or to see under the seat of your car when you desperately need change for the vending machine. Tongue blades. There never seem to be in the room when you need to see the back of a defiant child's throat. Keep a few of these in your pocket so you don't have to run out of the room when you need them. You'll also be happy when you've managed to pack yourself some leftovers for dinner and there isn't a utensil in sight with which to eat them. Tongue blades aren't great, but they will get the food into your mouth. Your cell phone will act as your peripheral brain. You will download apps like Epocrates and UpToDate to help you remember the vast amount of material that exists. They also house special photos and important dates like anniversaries and birthdays of loved ones. Don't forget those dates. Additionally, you will likely have a blank notebook to log your patients for the day, an obstetrical wheel to determine a patient's due date, a handheld Snellen and eye chart, surgical tape and scissors, hand sanitizers, extra masks, and breath mints when the only thing you've eaten all day are Doritos. The next items are perhaps the heaviest, but most important to keep in your pocket. Courage. The pandemic has changed the medical landscape, perhaps forever. Be the leaders that we need. Embrace every opportunity to challenge yourself. Endurance. Your hours will be long, your mental and physical capabilities stretched, but the rewards will be great. Humility and kindness. You will spend the bulk of your careers caring for patients one at a time. In our current healthcare environment, with pressures to see many patients in a day, it's often easy to forget that the sole patient is not a disconnected entity. That patient is someone's daughter or son, brother or sister, spouse or parent. And for that reason, it becomes important to remember that what happens to your one patient affects many people, sometimes deeply and for a long time. Please try to remember that while illness and death may become familiar to you, it is not to those who know and love your patients. I'd like you to just do a couple of things before we read the oath. First, look to the front of the room. Here you see the faculty that will guide you and direct you in your studies of both the science and art of medicine. They are experienced, they are knowledgeable, and they, more than anyone else at this institution, know what you need to become great PAs. Now turn so you can see your family and friends. Students, I suggest that you thank them now for all they will do for you over the next 2 years. Please stand to read the Pledge of Professionalism.
All right, class of 2024, raise your right hand and read along with me. I pledge to perform the following duties with honesty and dedication. I will hold as my primary responsibility the health, safety, welfare, and dignity of all human beings. I will uphold the tenets of patients' autonomy, beneficence, non-maleficence, and justice. I will recognize and promote the value of diversity. I will treat equally all persons who seek my care. I will hold in confidence the information shared in the course of practicing medicine. I will assess my personal capabilities and limitations, striving always to improve my medical practice. I will actively seek to expand my knowledge and skills, keeping abreast of advances in medicine. I will work with other members of the healthcare team to provide compassionate and effective care of patients. I will use my knowledge and experience to contribute to an improved community. I will respect my professional relationship with the physician. I will share and expand knowledge within the profession. These duties are pledged with sincerity and upon my honor.
You may be seated. This concludes our ceremony for today. Once again, congratulations to the class of 2024.
We will ask that you all hold back and wait. We're going to take a class picture with the students, and then you can meet up with them. Thank you.